Neighbours, released in some countries as Bad Neighbours, is a 2014 American comedy film directed by Nicholas Stoller and written by Andrew J. Cohen and Brendan O'Brien. The film stars Seth Rogen, Zac Efron, Rose Byrne, Dave Franco, and Christopher Mintz-Plasse in supporting roles. The plot follows a couple who come into conflict with the fraternity that has recently moved in next door, which leads them into an all-out war. The film premiered at the South by Southwest Film Festival on March 8, 2014, and was released on May 9 in the United States. The film received positive reviews, with praise aimed at Efron's breakout performance, and was a commercial success, grossing over $270 million worldwide, and became Rogen's highest-grossing live-action film. A sequel, Neighbours 2: Sorority Rising, was released on May 20, 2016, with Stoller returning to direct, and much of the cast reprising their roles. Seth Rogen and Zac Efron became attached to the film before it was pitched to studios. Universal and New Line Cinema put bids in for the film, with Universal eventually securing the rights for the untitled project in 2011. It was inspired by writers Cohen and O'Brien's fear of adulthood. The story was originally about Rogen's character and students in a frat, but it was too similar to Old School. Stoller changed the script so that it would focus on Rogen's character and his wife against the frat students. Producer Evan Goldberg said the initial idea was a frat war with Zac Efron. Maybe Seth, but definitely Zac Efron. Rose Byrne's role grew from the footnote relegated to the responsibilities of adulthood to full-on partner in crime. Cohen also said, initially our biggest problem with the script, it was too repetitious, and ramping up Rose Byrne as Kelly's involvement and bringing her into the war broke everything wide open. Rogen welcomed the change. To me it made it even better because it became less about me and some guys fucking around with the frat. It was much more about me and my wife, which was more interesting. The cast and the crew had 2 weeks of rehearsals, during which they practiced improvisation. Principal photography began in April 2013 and was completed by the end of May 2013 in Los Angeles, United States. Filming lasted 38 days. The 2 houses used in the film are situated in West Adams district of Los Angeles. Cameras and iPhones were distributed to extras, partygoers, and cast members for additional first-person perspective. On August 26, 2013, the film's original title, Townies, was changed to Neighbours. The film was released as Bad Neighbours outside the US to prevent confusion with the similarly titled Australian soap opera. A work-in-progress cut of the film was screened on March 8, 2014 at the Paramount Theatre in Austin, Texas, during the South by Southwest Film Festival. Some fun trivia notes. All of the actors took major pay cuts in order to help save money for the budget, in particular Seth Rogen and Zac Efron. Zac Efron actually broke his hand during his fight scene with Dave Franco in the movie. The writers and producers were panicking and started to plan how the broken hand would fit into the movie and how much the budget would change. However, they were surprised to learn that Efron arranged an emergency surgery so he could be back on set 1 day later. Most of the scenes in the film are improvised. The final fight scene, for example, between Mac and Teddy outside the Abercrombie and Fitch store was completely improvised. Zac Efron had no idea Seth Rogen would take off his shirt, so therefore his reaction is totally realistic. There's also a scene where Seth Rogen is now shouting at Zac Efron, and a bit of spit flies onto Zac Efron's face, which you can clearly see him wiping off. The cast includes Seth Rogen as Mac Radner, Kelly's husband, and an aggrieved neighbor when a fraternity moves in next door to him. Zac Efron as Teddy Sanders, president of the Delta Psi Beta fraternity. Rose Byrne as Kelly Radner, Mac's foul-mouthed Australian wife. Christopher Mintz-Plasse as Scooney Schofield, a member of Delta Psi Beta. Dave Franco as Peter Regazzoli, vice president of Delta Psi Beta. Ike Baronitz as Jimmy Bevins, Mac and Kelly's friend. And Carla Gallo as Paula Felt Bevins, Jimmy's ex-wife. Now this is a completely over-the-top, crass, and quite gross comedy, but in the same breath it really works so well, and really does leave you laughing a lot. This is one of those films that you really put on, switch off your brain, and just sit back and enjoy. With plenty of bawdy humour, evenly spread out, with its well-matched stars, Rogen and Zac Efron really bring out the best of each other here as complete and utter opposite antagonists. You couldn't get 2 more different men, frankly. But that's what makes it work so well, and Zac Efron really does play this kind of role perfectly as the arrogant, good-looking, dim-witted frat boy who of course just wants to party and have a good time, and Seth Rogen as the nerdy yet juvenile husband and father who's trying now to make his family work and can't get it right, especially when there's a fraternity running next door. Rose Byrne also is fantastic here, and her chemistry with Seth Rogen is particularly on point. This is most definitely an adult film comedy, and it definitely earns its R rating, and plenty of laughs to boot. For me in this role, Efron now sheds his Disney kid pretty boy stereotype, as he really plays this character quite well, and is prepared to make himself look silly in order to get the good laughs. I'm so glad that they chose to make Rose Byrne's character a co-conspirator with Rogen, as it would just work so much better now as a couple taking on the fraternity's might next door. Like I said, this is a simple, fun, easy film that's really made to give you good laughs and allow you to escape into the world of cinema just for a short time. Neighbours gets an 8 out of 10.